edition of Ask the Experts. We're here with our expert, Judi Rhee Alloway, and our question of the day is, why should entrepreneurs be involved in politics? Judi, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Can you quickly introduce yourself and explain your business and your political involvement, how the two are related?
Sure. Well, my name is Judi Rhee Alloway, and I run two businesses here in the city, and I also created an Asian Women's Leadership Development Program across the country and in Canada. My first business is called Imagine Leadership, and it's to inspire, motivate, and empower everyday leaders. My second business is called So Venture In. It is the launchpad for the emerging everyday entrepreneur. This is for anyone who dreams of changing their life, launching their dream, starting a business. In fact, right now we're offering people, our beta testers, we're looking for 100 of them, a free $100 monthly value to sign up. And you can find us on the web at http://beta.soventurein.com. And our motto is to live life on your own terms, so Venture In saves you time and money to start a business. This is for the retiree who wants to make a contribution for the community. This is for a mom who wants to start a side business on her own. This is for the student that wants to take over the world. And this is for the unemployed and unemployed that wants to wake up with a smile. Politically, I'm involved as a local community organizer in immigration rights, behind the scenes for the Mayor's Commission on Asian American Affairs, and I'm also here starting a pact for the AAA Fund for Asian American candidates to create that pipeline. Also, I represent PA as a team captain for GOTV. That's not GoTV. That's Get Out the Vote for the Asian American community.
Let me ask you, why do you think it's important for entrepreneurs and small business owners to be involved in politics?
Well, I would like to say, I'd almost like to rebrand politics. I almost consider politics as a dastardly connotation, this word that people just throw out these days. So instead of saying politics, I prefer to say, why is it important for entrepreneurs to care and be aware about their community on the state and a regional level and of course in the world? In that case, knowledge is power, and the more knowledge that you have about your community, the more lives that you can change and transform. We have to acknowledge the world for what it is. It is perfectly great to care for what you believe in and make the world a better place for future generations. You figure if we did not do that, children under the age of 18 would still be working, women and minorities would not have the right to vote, to get a job, and also to own property. And can you imagine if our predecessors didn't care?
A hot topic in politics today is job creation. Who do you think actually creates jobs?
So you're wondering whether or not government, corporations, small businesses, or nonprofits create jobs. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Well, government can foster the environment to create jobs, but government itself cannot really create jobs. If you look historically, small businesses account for 60 to 80% of net economic growth, and 89% of those small businesses have less than 20 employees. If you look in the case of women-owned businesses, we contribute $1.7 trillion in revenue, and also we hire 1 out of every 7 workers. So I would state that small businesses definitely help create jobs.
What are some of the main reasons that small business startups fail?
Well, there are many reasons why startup businesses tend to fail. If you think, a lot of times they don't hire the right people. They don't know if these people are the right fit for their team, or whether or not they have the perfect qualifications. Also, you have to think about in terms of capitalization. A lot of people may have great ideas, but they don't have the capital and that cushion and those savings to carry them through the hard times. And then I would also say it's a case of poor planning. For example, a lot of people tend to be overly optimistic, pie in the skyish, where they believe that as soon as they launch their business, they'll get 1,001 customers. Well, that's great, but if you think about it in terms of longevity and in terms of what it takes to start a small business, all of these factors are necessary. And it's almost this confluence of this perfect storm in order to create a successful business. And that's why, according to the SBA, 56% of the businesses fail within 4 years.
You've had some great insight into what makes good leaders in today's world. Can you briefly explain the difference between revolutionary and reactionary leadership?
Sure, absolutely. In fact, I just came from a conference that I was running on the Road to Revolutionary Leadership in Boston. And if you look at both revolutionary and reactionary leadership, they both start with an R. So they both have that in common. But the main difference is reactionary tends to go behind, or tends to look at history and wants to repeat that history. There's almost this air of, well, we've done this before, and this seems to work, so let's continue to do that. Revolutionary leadership, on the other hand, is forward-thinking. It's something that a lot of times there's this unknown when it comes to being an entrepreneur, or even in politics, where you take these risks. These are calculated risks, one hopes, when it comes to policy and when you're dealing with communities. But a lot of times these are risks that we don't know the actual results. So being a revolutionary leader, at times you can be faced with criticism that what are we really doing, what's really happening, what's going on. But at the end of the day, if you look at perhaps one of the cases of revolutionary leadership of Abraham Lincoln, he had the lowest approval ratings ever president. And yet, not just because he's on the penny, but because what he did for race relations in America, he's considered one of the greatest presidents of United States history. So I would definitely consider him a revolutionary leader who received a lot of flack, but at the same time, in retrospect, has become one of the greatest leaders.
Thank you. Our viewers are, I'm sure, very inspired right now to get involved in politics. Can you tell us what some of the steps they could take are to become more aware of and more engaged in their political environment?
Sure, absolutely. The first thing I would definitely do is turn off the TV. No, not right now, but after this interview is done, definitely turn off the TV. I was in the waiting room recently. CNN featured, for every hour of TV that you watch, you actually decrease your lifespan by 22 minutes. So that's up to you and the choices that you make, whether it's important to you to increase your lifespan or to decrease your lifespan. But personally, I say turn off the TV. Once you turn off the TV, you'll realize how much time that you actually have in your daily life, and then you'll be able to go out and meet your neighbors and talk about your neighborhood and things that you care about. Then after you do that, in step 3, I want you to talk to your politicians about the same thing that you and your neighbors are talking about. Get to know them, because after all, you are hiring them each time that you go out to vote. And then the fourth thing that I would do is definitely become the leader that you've always waited for. At Imagine Leadership, we say, be the leader that you seek and love a better world. So I know everyone's always waiting for someone to save them, whether it be in their community or whether it be an elected leader or an elected official. But in actuality, I'm hoping that everybody steps up to the plate and becomes the leader that they've always wished that they've had as a role model. And that's what I recommend to people.
Thank you again for your time and advice. Everyone, this has been Judi Rhee Alloway. Please check out her website for more of this great information.
Yes, I know some of the things that I might have said might be a little bit controversial, and feel free to agree or disagree with me. I am open to dialogue. You can reach me at Judi, Judi, at soventurein, soventurein.com. That's Judi at soventurein.com. And feel free to bring something up from this interview. I'm open for discussion.
Thank you, Judi, and